Welcome everyone back to the Family That podcast. I was not going to come back on here this year. I was going to end with my rant, but then some stuff started happening, and now here I am to talk about it. So today what we're talking about is this craziness that just will not stop. Like, I feel like I'm on a hamster wheel at this point. So I know that, like, this thing, we're still fighting vaccine mandates. We are like going back and forth. One minute we're halting, then the next minute we're going to keep going forward. And I'm sick of that because it's tiring. It's like either decide something so people can figure out their lives, because nobody deserves to, lose their job over this whole shenanigans. Like, it's just crazy at this point. I'm sick of it, and I just understand, why all of these things are being allowed. But then I go and see, like, people talking, and I'm like, oh, this is why it's allowed. Because people won't say no. They accept everything, and they don't care to question it. And they believe that their side is completely right, and that, you know what, you're not going to change my mind about it. And you probably can, say that the other side does the same thing, the unvax side, the unwilling to change their viewpoint too at the same time. Honestly, I'm sick of the vax versus the unvax. I'm sick of the mask versus the maskless. I think all of these debates are just draining at this point. Yesterday, I had a Facebook post, come up in my notification. And I was like, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. And of course, the people that, are, they're on their fourth booster shot and they're going to do everything that they tell them to do. Those are the people that'll come after you because they don't want to feel like that they were wrong. They don't want to feel like what they did was in vain. It's like, I did all of this, so, and because of you, this is the reason why we're not out of this pandemic, right? And so I understand why they take the approach that they do. But the thing is, you're mad at the wrong people. You're mad at the unvaxxed when you should be mad at the policies. You should be mad at the people that are putting these things in place. You're mad at everyday people that are saying no. You shouldn't be mad at people for not following along with an agenda. You should be wondering why are they doing that, and maybe do your own research too. But instead, it makes you feel better. It makes you feel big. You feel powerful because you followed directions. You did everything they told you to do, and you're going to keep doing everything they tell you to do. And you're not going to ever go against it. You're not going to ever question it because in your mind, you're doing what is right to get us out of this whole thing. And you'll never believe that they brainwashed and lied to you because you can't believe it. You don't want to believe it because it's easier to believe a lie than to know the truth. That's just in everyday life. It's just easier to believe a lie than to be hit with the cold-hearted truth about things. And so anyways, the reason why I'm even mad right now is because I'm looking for work. I want to be able to get back to work, return back to work, have my children go back to school and all this other stuff. And I thought by January, maybe we'll have some way out of this that, things will be a little bit more clear. And it's even worse now. Every job I looked for yesterday, I did 20 applications, had to close out of all 20 because all of them require you to be fully vaccinated. Even if I was to get vaccinated today, I wouldn't be fully vaccinated by the time the job starts. And is it worth it to do it for $10 an hour? So there was that, me looking for work yesterday and being completely mad about that. And then me coming on the post about insanity and people jumping in and they want to just attack you by calling you names and things, but they can never tell you. They can never tell you what they don't disagree with or give you any cold-hearted facts. The fact is this, that every time there's a new variant, there's a new push for the jab. Now there's a push for the boosters. There's a boost to put the mask back in place. You remember, like, every time that the cases go down, we say, okay, you can remove the mask. Then when it goes up, we put them back on. So is that not doing the same thing over and over again? I just think that people are insane and just don't want to see it. And that has nothing to do with me because you don't want to take the blinders off. Stop being mad at everybody else and be mad at yourself. Look in the mirror and say, I did everything that I was supposed to do and it still wasn't enough. And get over it. Because the thing is, no matter how many times you wish death on the unvaccinated, that karma is only coming back to you. I feel like people feel like they can't be human. Like, you still need to be, you need to keep your humanity, you need to keep your integrity. You need to keep your morals through this whole debate. I would never say the things to anybody on either side of the aisle that I've seen said to people online. Like, I think that you can't call yourself a Christian and then do all of these other things and say all of these hurtful and mean things to other people because you don't agree with them. So I just think this whole thing has made people a little loopy and lose who they are and lose sight of everything. Like, I feel like people have taken this thing like to the head and they are mad at everybody, and there's a lot of misplaced anger and hate. And I will say I haven't seen it as much on the unvax side as I've seen on the fully vaccinated. I've seen fully vax say, hey, don't take up any room in the hospital, stay at home and die. You know, I've seen, oh yeah, you should definitely lose your job. You should be out in the streets. So I've seen it from that side more than the unvax side. If the unvax side is saying things too, then at the same time, nobody should lose their morals. Nobody should lose who they are. Nobody should lose their humanity because of a doggone global pandemic. What we should be demanding, instead of fighting amongst ourselves, we should be demanding treatments. We should be demanding that there's a focus on health and not compliance and control. If we really wanted to get this under control, then we will be demanding more from the people that tell us all of the information they're telling us to mask up, get the jab, socially distance, all of this other things. We need to say, I demand to see the numbers. I want to see the figures that say that this works. But we can't do that if we only have, let's say we have 20 people. Only 2 people saying, I want to see the figures, and everybody else going along with it. You know, like their voice is louder. So your voice gets drowned out, and we have to keep going along with this same thing, even though we're going into year 3 of this craziness. And I'm just like, are you not tired of this yet? And if you think that, you know, if it was only the unvaccinated, if they get vaccinated, we'll be out of this. If you think that that's really the way forward and out of this, instead of just saying, okay, at some point we got to return back to our normal lives and learn to live with this some type of way, whether that is we're going to get some treatments, we're going to figure out how we can get this under control where it's not as deadly to the population as it has been. Like, why do people not have any type of like clarity? Why are everybody just so mad? People are just mad. They don't even care for answers at this point. They just want a reason to be mad. And I realize it's because it's become political. They feel like everybody that's unvaxxed are like Trumpsters, Republicans, conservatives, and because of that, a lot of that hatred that they felt about Trump is the same hatred that they spew on the unvaccinated. And it's like, you guys got to find some type of through line, find some type of clarity, meditation, something. Get that anger out your heart, because you're angry at the wrong people. Like, even the White House press briefing told us it's going to be a cold, winter, it's going to be filled with hospitalizations and all of these things. And it just sounds like that's what you want to happen. So yesterday was a crazy, crazy day. So we saw that, things are being canceled left and right. Here, they're putting back, where I'm in Georgia, so they're putting back, like, the mask, putting your mask back on indoors. I saw places in Chicago were canceling events because people were testing positive. I saw in New York where they're doing a whole lot. They might even cancel, like, the New Year's ball drop. So, I thought all that was interesting. And so this morning I saw, this is WSB-TV, which is here locally in Georgia. And the headline says, case drop may show South Africa's peak has passed. Omicron, I think is how you say it. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. If it's pronounced differently, I'm sorry. It says they had a noticeable drop in new COVID-19 cases in recent days, and it may signal that the country's dramatic Omicron-driven surge has passed its peak. Okay, so that's what they're saying right now. But we're going absolutely, insane here in America, and we're canceling everything. And I think that it's honestly because I'm going to say that it's political, and it's a way for the left to kind of not be accountable for the things that they've done and to prevent this red wave that they believe is coming. I could be wrong about that. That's just one of my theories. I believe that this is a distraction from something else. But As I continue to read, because I'm about to hop off of here, they're just pretty much saying that we don't know how it's going to react according to different populations. Just because it was mild there and the cases are dropping as quickly as they rose, does that mean that that could be reflective everywhere else? So it's kind of like still a wait and see game. But for the most part, they say that this was a mild, it was a mild wave that prevented a lot of hospitalizations and death. So that's kind of interesting to see, to read this report this morning, but then to see everything being canceled and to see the pandemonium here in the States. So, again, I guess we just have to watch and see. I'm going to stick with it. This is a distraction from something, and we'll figure out what that distraction is like we always do. We know now that this is not about public health. This is about compliance and seeing who can get along who can get in line and do what they need to do. That's what this is about. This is about complying so you can get the pizza party. That's what this is. And this is not a knock against vaccinations. I believe vaccinations do work. I just do not trust this one. And I don't believe in getting like 4 shots in 1 year. I'm totally against that. So we're smack dab in the middle of flu season 2. So all of this is happening at a very interesting time. Right after Thanksgiving, right before New Year's, where we're going into a new year, and right before the Christmas holiday. So the timing of this whole pandemonium is quite interesting, is all that I would say. I believe vaccines work. I believe in science, all of that good things that you have to say, so they don't flag you as a crazy conspiracy theory to, they're spreading misinformation. I believe it all works, but I do have questions, and I am a little skeptical about this whole thing, and I wonder, what's the end game here, and what's going to be our way forward? Are we just going to boost our way to good health? Are we going to finally focus on public health and putting people's health needs in front of them, getting people healthy, and trying to develop other treatments, which I heard a pill is coming? So, or we're going to eventually learn to live with this, or we're just going to continue to vilify the unvaccinated until they comply. Thank you all for watching. See you guys on another video.